I recommend Dragon Age.
For Ferelden! For the Grey Wardens! For Ferelden!
Dragon Age Origins is, well, the origin of the series, the medieval counterpart to the futuristic Mass Effect. It is a class-based RPG that deals with the world of swords and magic, heavily taking inspiration from TRPGs like Dungeons & Dragons. Dragon Age Origins takes place in the land of Thedas, specifically the region of Ferelden. The game starts with a short intro explaining the Blight, a world-ending calamity, and what it means to be a Grey Warden. What it means to be a hero.
The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall. Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness and prevail.
The plot of the game revolves around you, the Warden, and your quest to end the Blight along with you and your allies. After the intro, the game transitions to a rather robust character creation screen, allowing you to customize your character to your own specifications. You can choose from one of the main races that are present from the game's world, such as an elf, human, or dwarf. And it is from your choice of race that you may then choose your class, ranging from a warrior, mage, or rogue, each with their own specializations within gameplay. You then get to choose your character's origin, each with different starting locations based on your race and class selection. The human has the option of nobility or circle, depending on whether or not they are a mage. The elves have the choice of being Dalish, a nomadic tribe of woodland elves, a city elf within the city of Denerim's alienage, or being a circle mage if the mage class is chosen. The dwarves have the option of being a noble like the humans, or a commoner like the city elf, although they both have the characters start within the dwarven city of Orzammar. Each of the origins are set like a tutorial area where you learn how to play the game and learn more about the world that you've now been thrust upon. And you're able to explore a limited area until you're called to meet Duncan, a senior Grey Warden, and are put under his care, after actions you or someone else in the world has taken. Once under his care, you both set off to Ostagar to meet with the other Grey Wardens, notably Alistair, and the Ferelden army led by King Cailan to defeat the Darkspawn before a true blight can begin. Our heroes rise to meet the Darkspawn horde. There's a calm before the storm. Some of the champions seem unsteady, but they know this battle will be won for the history books, that they are all that stands before annihilation. And they fall. This great army filled with hundreds of warriors with years of experience, those that had the courage to fight for their homes and families, all butchered by the might of an ancient evil. It's now up to you, as one of the few remaining Grey Wardens in all of Ferelden, to stand up against the Archdemon. But to do that, you'll need an army, or a really good team. The staple of any BioWare game comes from its party system that allows you to talk with each character that joins your team, with the chance at romance should you play your cards right. The party system includes an approval system that allows your companions to respond to the action that you've taken in-game and judge you for it. The system is more prominent in the Dragon Age series than in Mass Effect, and will be further discussed within the dialogue portion. In each game, there are hub areas where you get the chance to learn more about the people on your team. Origins is the most memorable group for me in the series. In Origins, you first meet Alistair, a fellow warden that has a charming and funny personality that will often use humor to diffuse tense situations. The second companion that you run into is Morrigan, an apostate witch of the wild, a cold and mysterious figure that potentially plays a pivotal role in the story of your warden. Then there's Sister Liliana, a young and bright-eyed chantry sister and bard who is answering the call of the Maker, aiding you against the Darkspawn threat. Sten, the Qunari warrior, sent from the far-off land of Parvalen, a strong and resolute warrior that follows his people's customs and beliefs dogmatically. You've Wynne, a kind and motherly human circle mage that seeks to help while she still lives. Zevran, a sly and flirtatious elven rogue that aids more so out of necessity than choice. And for a last humanoid companion rounding out the bunch is the dwarven warrior from Orzammar, Oghren, who helps you simply because he's got nothing better to do. The final two are the dog that was either your companion from the human origin, or one that can be helped at Ostagar, and the war golem Shale, who hates birds and is unfortunately only obtainable through DLC. The world of Dragon Age is filled with your typical fantasy races, the humans who worship the Maker, which are divided between the nobles and the commoners, the elves split up into the Dalish, nomadic wood elves who revere their pantheon of ancient gods, and the city-born elves that are second-class citizens, below that of even the common human, and the dwarves, who venerate the stone and their ancestors. They're like the humans in the way that they're split into nobles and commoners, but they do so through a caste system. The unique race that Dragon Age has in-game is that of the Qunari, gray-skinned humanoids that primarily have horns. Those without them, like Sten, are said to be quite rare. Fun fact about the Qunari, they do not have names. They are given the names of their roles. Sten is their word for warrior. In truth, the Qunari are not a race, but a collective of people living under the teachings of the Qun, their doctrine. And finally, mages, who are almost their own race, given how magic is feared in this world so much that they're locked away in towers far from cities and closely guarded by Templar knights, that were given the ability to suppress their magic given to them by the Chantry so as to keep the people safe. While not fully open world, Dragon Age Origins gives the illusion, as you're allowed to take your main quests in whichever order that you see fit, and are allowed to move through multiple hub areas that each contain their own dungeons and branch off from the hub areas. After the battle at Ostagar, the Warden has the choice to go to the Circle Tower, the Red Cliff Village, or the Stone City of Orzammar. As you explore, more locations open up for you to travel, and as you're traveling, you have the chance of meeting traveling merchants, quest givers, and the possibility of being forced into battle with bandits or Darkspawn scouts. Dragon Age uses an interactive dialogue tree that allows you to respond in a variety of ways during conversation. Each of the ways that you respond not only affect how the world sees the Warden, but how your party will respond to your choice through the approval system. For example, if given the choice to help someone that is unimportant to a quest and you choose to help, an honorable warrior like Alistair will approve of your actions, and your rating will increase. While on the other hand, your Qunari party member, Sten, may disagree, as it takes time away from your main goal. This approval system is quite important, as if your score becomes too low with a character for too long, they may see no need in following you any longer and leave the story in its entirety. What you choose can have quite drastic consequences. Do you gain an army at the cost of a village, or ruin a religious artifact for a cult under your banner? If so, how do you assuage the concerns of your party members, and what do you say to those that question? Do you explain that it's the ruthless calculus of war? Do you understand and accept their hatred, or do you choose not to even care? The choices that you make can determine your outcome in each battle, whether that be with swords or with words. The gameplay of Dragon Age Origins is very much like its RPG brothers and sisters at the time, utilizing a hotbar where abilities and items are slotted. It can be quite strategic if you choose to play it in that manner, with its ability to give a top-down camera angle that can pause gameplay if the option is toggled, where you can directly control companions' movement as well as their actions in combat, at least on PC. On console, the game becomes more action-focused rather than chess-like, as the camera is affixed behind the player character and utilizes a button quick menu, which allows 3 abilities to be slotted at a time, an extra 3 only when the sub button is pressed. Both versions do allow you to control any of the party members as the one you control, if you choose, but cannot control their dialogue, only that of the warden. There are 4 specializations for each class that will drastically change how the game is played. Unfortunately, don't have any impact on the story itself. Each of the specializations can be obtained either by finding items or people that will teach you throughout your journey. Specializations can also be learned from companions, should their class allow it. I've told you about the game, the land, and the people you meet along the way, and hopefully I've intrigued you enough to give it a try. If not, that's unfortunate, because it is truly an amazing time. The story is rich and engaging, all the characters are interesting, but I get it. It's a game that was released back in 2009, but I still ask you to give it a shot anyway. This may be the end, but this is not goodbye, simply a parting for a time. But before we separate, I'd love to ask the question. What type of warden will you be? The hero from the tales of our childhood, or the bloodied warrior that carves their enemies? Let me know. I'd love to hear it.